Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm excited to come to you today with another fresh episode for your Friday. Hope you guys are doing well, having a great start to the new year. It's a busy week here at Growing Green Landscapes. I want to take a little bit of time today and just talk about a few things that I want to focus on the newcomers, the people that are getting into the industry this year, that are just starting out, that are trying to really build their business and change their business this year. And it's not going to be some high-level stuff, but it is going to be some practical tips and information that I think everyone can take something away from, even if you have been in business for a while, a couple years. I still think you should be looking at these things because these are the things that really will set you apart and help your business really flourish and grow in years to come. So I want to say thank you real quickly before I hop in to John Deere. John Deere's been an amazing partner of our show here the last couple years through a couple different campaigns and things that we've done. I have been an avid user of John Deere since I started my business in 2018. We have used John Deere equipment ever since day one. I don't have any plans of switching ever, really. They make some of the best stuff out on the market. It's tried, it's tested, it's true. It just doesn't miss. And we are so thankful to be able to be in a partnership with them, and they support here on the show and support the things that we do on social media. And I hope that you can see some of our content that we do, putting out the motors videos on YouTube, the Ops Center videos. Guys, these are the things that, we don't talk equipment. We don't get caught up in equipment too much here on this show because at the end of the day, equipment is equipment. But I will tell you, I highly encourage you to pick a brand that you're going to grow and build your team and your business around, and really invest in them and let them invest in you. And that's what we've done with John Deere, and they do that with so many contractors out there, people that are trying to grow their businesses, is they will really invest in your company. They will work with you. They will get you financing. They will get you the machines that you need. And those are some things that I think that are very easily missed out there in the world when you just start shopping equipment. And is it true that most of these commercial mowers will get the job done? Yes, 100%. I do agree with that. What I do want to put in here is that everything is not made the same as far as quality goes and durability, and that's something that I really look at with my Deeres. They don't break down. How many times have you guys seen Instagram stories of my stuff in the shop? Not very often. It does not happen. It happens a couple times a year, but that's about it. That's over 5 mowers. Going down with a starter replacement or something like a linkage or something breaking every now and then. That's literally the worst that we deal with here with these units. They don't miss. And so I just want to say thank you to Deere and what they're doing. And if we can ever help you with any information on John Deere, finding dealers near you, all that stuff, reach out and let me know. I'm happy to connect you there. And if you have any suggestions, feedback, requests, let me know that as well so we can get that in, because they really want to hear their end users' feedback. They want to know what they can do better. They want to know how they can improve their product. I was on one of those calls 2 or 3 months ago with a very high up leadership team at John Deere talking about what their next 5 years looks like and where they're investing their money and where they're putting their focus. And it's an honor to be a part of that. And so if you do have feedback, again, good, bad, or ugly, it is appreciated, and they do really take it and actually use it. So as I go into today's episode, I know we had a super short show on Wednesday. I wanted to keep it that way intentionally. We also aren't going to go very, very long today, and that is because I want you to focus on a few key things. I don't want to just overload you with information in January, right? Because there's a couple ways to look at January. There's a group of people that just take off and don't do anything for the month of January. There is the people that, okay, we're going to turn our business around and upside down in January. And then there's the people that are going to, hey, we're going to tweak a few things, make some changes here. These are the key things we need to focus on. And they're going to focus. They're going to take action. They're going to see things change. And that's the group that I want you to be in. I don't want you to be in the business that in the company that resets every January because you don't, like, you just take the time off and you go in the hole and you come out March, you are upside down. We don't want that. I do not want you to do that. That is not fun for anybody. You will never be able to grow and scale that way, and you'll never feel any sort of freedom from your business, or in your business, I should say. And secondly, I don't want you to become that group of people that also tries to do everything all at once and just turns it upside down, because you're not going to take action on all that stuff. It's just not humanly possible. So where do I want you to fall? Where do I want to fall? I want to fall in that group that says, okay, here are the things that we did right last year. Here are the things that we did wrong last year. And here are the ways that we're going to actually change this year going forward. And there's a list of them. And we're not going to do some 20-point bullet list. They're going to be a few, 5 to 7, maybe somewhere in there. Like key points that we're going to say, okay, we're going to make these better going forward. We're not going to let this happen again. We're going to see the business change this year because of these action items. And so in doing that, today, I want you to focus on a few metrics this year for your business. And I'm saying this will apply to new and old, because these are some metrics that I think if I would have focused on them early on in business, they would have saved me a couple months and years of heartache along the way and just struggles. And it's just, there's no need for you to go through that stuff. So metric number 1 is your pricing, right? When I first started my company, I remember saying, I'm never going to, why do people price hourly? Like, I can go cut a yard and charge $70 and do it in 20 minutes. Like, why would I ever price hourly? That doesn't make sense. We were in this spot and I didn't have my yards priced correctly. So when I tried to go and add people and grow the company, I didn't have the yards priced. I just was like, oh, me and one guy can do it in 20 minutes. Let's charge $80. That sounds like a good profit, right? Well, that's not the way to look at it. And that cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, again, as we try to grow. And so when you have one person that is mowing the grass, $80 in 20 or 30 minutes, that sounds great, right? But what I didn't know is that we should be charging a man-hour rate. And so that price comes down to, what do we have in our budget? First, you have to have a budget built, right? So that's how if you get this man-hour rate, is because we have a budget that says, okay, we're going to produce this much revenue, we're going to have this many expenses, we're going to have this much overhead, and if I don't charge this amount of money, then we're never going to recoup, and we never will make money. Well, again, that's done over the course of a man-hour rate. And so if you don't have a software or a spreadsheet that's helping you budget these things out, and you don't know this, then you are going to be hurting in the end. And so you may hear us talk about software and this and that and job costing, but you got to go back to the basics. And I know there's some of you out here listening to the show, like I'm talking to you, and you probably feel like I'm just hitting you between the eyes, and that's okay. I kind of am, because I want you to not make the same mistakes, right? You need to have some sort of software so you can process and build a budget. You can make sure that you're recouping your overhead. You can make sure you're charging the man-hour rate that you need to charge. And you, again, if you just hear, oh, you have a software, you may be like, well, I can just write it on pen and paper my schedule. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about something much deeper, much more important. And if you don't focus on it now, you will lose money in the end. So get your budget built, right? If you can't, there are plenty of ways. Reach out to me, reach out to an LMN specialist. Like, I will help you with that. If you want an LMN conversation, if you want to ask questions, if you want to see what it's like to build a budget, let me know. We'll hop on a call. We will discuss it. And I'll get you in touch with Troy, and Troy will take care of you. Troy's awesome. He's at LMN. He's an amazing sales guy that has a heart for the industry, that is wanting to really grow and change these people's futures, you guys' futures, their own businesses. Because why would you be in business to not make money? That doesn't make sense, right? Exactly. So as you approach today and this month of January, as you're kind of recouping and restarting, and make sure that you are, you know what a budget is, right? If you don't know what a budget is, just reach out. Happy to help. If you haven't built it yet, it's not too late, but you do want to get it done soon-ish, January, February-ish at the latest, if you start mowing in March, April, something like that. So number 2, you got a budget, You need to know your man-hour rate. You need a software. Those are kind of all lumped together. Once you have those lumped together, you need to be focusing on efficiencies in your business. So your drive time, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there who take drive time and they don't really take it into consideration. They just say, okay, you know what? I can go make $80 here on this yard and drive another couple miles and make this $80 here. And, oh, this one pays me $150, so I'll drive a little bit further. There is some truth to that a little bit, but you have to factor that drive time in. And so as you're growing your company, make sure that you don't say yes to everything everywhere. And it's very easy to do in the beginning. It's very easy to do. Just say, okay, I can go here, I can go there. Oh, if I go here, I can start building a route in that neighborhood, right? Well, that's not always the right thing to do, because sometimes you go, oh, let's build a route in that neighborhood for one residential home, and then you drive 20, 30, 40 minutes out of the way, like round trip, and you're losing money in the end, and you're not gaining customers. So if you want to grow into a market or a neighborhood, you need to target that neighborhood hard and not just start mowing one yard. You need to go in there and deliberately try to gain 3, 5, 10 customers, so that drive now becomes a little more worth it, and then you do grow more organically over time because they see you on more properties. But if you just go out and drive time and you spend time in the car all day, it's just not going to work. And again, you can do that when it's one guy. But these are the issues that hit you when you have 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, because just me driving 30 minutes with me and one guy, not too bad. You put 3 guys in a mow rig and you send them 30 minutes one way. 30 minutes one way, that's an hour and a half. That's 1.5 man hours you spend on that job. So you have to drive 30 minutes back. Now you're at 3 hours plus your time mowing the grass. So if that's your only yard, right, you sent 3 guys out there, then you would have to charge 4 man hours, which at our rate, we're charging between $85 and $95 a man hour for mowing. Then I say that because I don't know the exact number. We have an exact number. I just can't tell you off the top of my head. It's somewhere in that range. So you're talking $90 at 4. You would have to charge $360 for that lawn. Now, if you're charging $360, you're making money, right? That's a different story. But that's where the software tells you this is what you have to charge. And because you probably won't just say, hey, I got $360 for this 1 hour yard. Like, that's not likely going to happen. So you have to be disciplined enough to say, okay, you know what? I put it in here. Drive time doesn't work. This is what we have to charge per hour. This is how many hours we'll have in between drive time and the mow and the actual time on the property. It's not going to work, right? It's not going to work unless we charge $360. So make sure you factor in your drive time to your routes this year, because that will eat you alive. It will eat you alive a lot faster than you think it will, and I don't want to see you get eaten alive. I want to see you win and succeed. Because guess what? It's not easy, right? Business is not easy. And if you're in year 1, you're in year 2, maybe you're in year 3, you may not have gone through any hard trials yet, right? This year for us, this was year 7 of our business, and it was by far the hardest year we've had to date. Just because we're trying to grow, we make mistakes when we grow, right? Like we have issues. I don't get everything right, contrary to popular belief. That's a joke. I don't get everything right, and we make mistakes. We make pricing mistakes. We make job mistakes. We forget to leave things out on estimates, and that comes down to using LMN the right way, building templates so those things are never forgotten. That's like a next level LMN class there, building templates and production rates and things. We're gonna come back to that in just a minute, though. But that's one of those things that, guys, you have to make sure you're accounting for, because I don't have it figured out. It was a tough year for us because those things I just talked about, we tried to grow a team, and we ran into those issues. Like, those exact issues are the issues that we ran into. And so if you can't focus on, hey, I'm going to make these changes now with 1 or 2 people, when you have 5 or 6 or 7, you're going to be dealing with it then. It's going to cost you a lot more money. Because right now you're just dealing with, your time and a guy's time. And you maybe lose some revenue, but you don't have near the overhead and the labor that you have when you have a big team. So let's go. Number 3 is production rates. Production rates need to be done in your business yesterday. We got production rates done in our business yesterday, just about. So we really just started dialing in production rates this last year, and that is transformative. Like, that will change your business because you will estimate accurately. And if you don't do that right away, if you don't say, hey, I'm going to go put the time in to build the estimate and build the production rate for this estimate, then you will lose money in the end. How do I build the production rate for the estimate? It's very simple. This is a great time to do it this time of year. You could go find some random yard, go find some random field, and say, you know what? This is 1 acre of grass. I'm going to take my mower out here, my 60-inch mower, and see how long it takes me to cut this 1 acre. And you're going to put in that notes and say, this took this long with a 60-inch mower, but it was wintertime. There was no growth, right? So then you need to factor into that production rate. Okay, it took me an hour to cut this acre with no growth. It's going to take me an hour and 20 to cut it with growth, right? Or whatever you think that math is going to be. And once you have that dialed in, then and only then will you be able to accurately price. Your jobs, because once you do that, then you'll actually be able to see. Okay, now we know what we're charging. We know how much time we're spending, and we're not going to actually lose money on jobs anymore. Losing money on jobs sucks. Why would you want to do that? Again, why do you want to be in business if you're losing money? It's not fun. Just go get a W-2 job. You can make more money doing that. So we get these dialed in. We get our routes dialed in, so we know that we're not driving all over creation. And I think you want to pair here is a very valid point to talk about is sales. And early on in business, some of the issues you run into is, okay, how do I generate new sales? How do I generate revenue? How do I get customers, right? And that is something that you have to take into consideration when you start is, okay, I'm going to add these equipment. I'm going to add these payments. Maybe if I'm going to go in debt to get some equipment that's going to make me money, how am I going to pay for all this? And that is something that you really have to consider, right? So I think you need to go into it with a formulated plan of how am I going to get new customers. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you to use ChatGPT to help you with this, because Chat is going to, he or she, whatever you want to call it, it will help you create the entire system you need for your area for what you're trying to do. You just have to be so specific with it. You need to tell it what customers you want to serve. You need to tell it. It goes back to like the identity statement that we talked about last on Wednesday. If you don't have an identity statement, you could do that inside of Chat. That's what helped me create mine. So why don't you go do that today? Build your sales plan. Build your sales plan for the spring, because again, it's not always going to just come in the door. It takes time. It takes effort. And I think one of the traps that we fall in very easily is that we just think people are going to find us. And that's not always the case. You need to be able to go find them. And until you can consistently go find them and go generate revenue at the flip of a switch, your business is going to struggle. When you go through a sales dip and you don't have referrals coming in and the market slows down a little bit, I think a lot of us have seen that the last couple of years is since 2020, the market's been pretty crazy. We haven't had to do much advertising or really even selling because people were coming to us. We didn't even have to really close the job that well. We just had to say, yeah, you had to call them back and show up, and you were good. That's not the case anymore. At least where we are. I'm sensing, I feel it. Like it's slowing down. People are slowing down. We're having to sell a little harder here. And I just want to make sure that you have a plan for that. So go into Chat and literally tell it, like, again, be very specific. Go into Lana with LeanScaper, right? She can do the same thing. Make sure that you're so specific that it has, like, it's going to ask you all the questions. It's going to go through there. Don't leave anything out. It's going to take time. Don't leave anything out, right? If you go and you don't answer things the way that they should be answered fully, you're not going to get the answers you want. It's all about prompts. So how can you give it a better prompt and a better answer? That's what you have to be considering. As you continue through the spring, it's going to get busy, right? So that's where the scheduling comes in with LMN. You can schedule yourself out well. You also need to make sure that your pricing is set, okay? So it goes back to the budget, goes back to the man-hour rate. Have your pricing set to where you're not killing yourself all spring. You may get to a point where, hey, your schedule is not totally full, or it is filling up, and people want it done yesterday, so you can charge a premium price. Because if you have a schedule that's not completely packed and you can get out to them pretty quickly, let's say you can get out in, I don't know, just a couple days, then you will end up doing all right on this because they are paying for the time. They want you to get it done quickly. And when it's done quickly, they will pay you a premium most of the time. So just consider that. Consider as you go into the next couple months here, just making a few key changes. And then again, this is just things for you to sit and look at because sometimes this stuff gets overlooked. It's very easy for this to get overlooked. If you are not paying attention to your metrics day in and day out, it's very easy for this to get overlooked. So how can you be better this month, this year? And just ask yourself that question. What can I be following? And maybe you are hung up on some metrics. Maybe you're saying, what are metrics? How do I learn metrics? What does that even mean? Okay. Then I'm happy to answer that. Again, I'm happy to answer any questions that we can. If you want us to go deeper on something, reach out and let me know because that is an area that, again, I want to help you with your specific needs and what you're looking to get done and accomplish this year. I want you to have your best year ever. I want you to build that revenue source. I want you to make sure that you're doing it profitably as well, which means, again, dialing in pricing, making sure you have a sales system that doesn't dry up as soon as the calls slow down. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Reach out and let me know if we can ever help. Again, thanks to John Deere for their partnership here on our show. And you're going to hear some more from them going forward. You're going to see some more. You're going to continue to watch on YouTube if you haven't seen any of that. Go over to YouTube. We put a lot of videos out from Equip up there, and we're going to continue some things here at home as well. So, again, if we can ever help, reach out and let me know. We're going to LeanScaper next week. There is still time. Free ticket if it's your first event. You're going to hear Simon Sinek, Greg Wells, I believe is his name, and I shouldn't say that off the top of my head. That is, I need to. I get him, and there's one other guy that I get mixed up with, and I want to make sure that I get it right for you guys, because again, it is the most important thing that we could talk about is who you're going to get. What's the value you're going to get out of this thing? Greg Wells, I was right. And Phil Jones. That's the other guy that I kind of get mixed up. So those three speakers, they're going to be headlining. They're going to be talking over the 2 days. It is the revenue intensive that you're going to turn your revenue engine on. This is going to help you solve the problem that I just addressed. Hey, if you're running into these issues and you are running out of work because you don't know how to keep your revenue engine up, this is the event for you. It's your first time. It's free. Get out to Arizona. If you're in the area, drive around. If you're on the West Coast, drive down. Come hang out. You can go to LeanScaper.com/events to sign up. First time, it's free, right? And if you want to join the accelerator program, you can join the tier above starter. And as soon as you join a tier above the starter tier, these tickets are baked into your monthly cost. So you're going to pay a couple. I think it's like $1,500 a month or something like that for the membership to the accelerator program. These tickets to the events are included in that. Don't quote me on that price. Could be more, could be less, but those tickets will be included. You can go to all these events every year for quarterly events. And so it's in Scottsdale. Can't wait to see you there, guys. If we can help you, please reach out and let us know. We're going to have some great content coming from Scottsdale. More to come on what LeanScaper's building with agents and things as well. So anyways, y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend if you're listening real time. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.